longer we can keep people smoking, the safer they're going to be.
We begin with that controversial practice around handing out smoking supplies to people who use drugs in downtown Portland. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. On Monday, Multnomah County halted a plan to give supplies to fentanyl users, though as Blair Best found out, some groups in the Rose City have been doing this for years and have no intention of stopping.
The aftermath of addiction is hard to miss in downtown Portland.
I've been smoking it since last night.
This man keeps powdered fentanyl in his wallet.
That's some of the dope right there. The blues aren't strong enough for me anymore.
Another hides it in his fanny pack.
A little something right there.
And the tools to smoke it are just as accessible.
There's the exchange, and then they set up over at the PSU park blocks and other parts of the town.
She's talking about where one can find free tinfoil and straws to smoke fentanyl. Some housing programs, like the one at Central City Concern, also hand out smoking supplies to those who live there. But people often turn to each other.
We hand out so much tinfoil. Most people boost it. We talk about charging people for it, but we did steal it, so.
Beyond Central City Concerns programs, there's places all across the city handing out smoking supplies, like Outside In's Needle Exchange program that's right behind this plywood door in Southwest Portland.
This man waits in line at the Needle Exchange for a meth pipe.
Just to get the things I need for my addiction.
Our whole goal is to engage with the community, bring people in, provide them a safe space to ask questions, to learn about drug use, learn about options for not using drugs, and have the tools that they need to stay healthy and safe.
Haven Wheelock is the harm reduction manager at Outside In.
Foil, straws, pipes, yeah.
They've given out smoking supplies for more than 3 decades in an effort to prevent the spread of disease that can come from sharing. It's also a way they build relationships with people on the streets.
And so the longer we can keep people smoking, the safer they're going to be. We know that injecting drugs is much more dangerous than smoking them.
Yet Portland is seeing a record number of overdoses from people smoking fentanyl. Mayor Ted Wheeler spoke out against this approach to harm reduction on Monday.
I don't see how handing out tin foil, clean, dirty, or otherwise, is going to prevent the spread of disease. What it's going to do is encourage people to come to Multnomah County and smoke fentanyl.
This was in response to the county also handing out these supplies. They abruptly stopped, pending further analysis, though other Portland groups aren't backing down.
A lot of critics might see the work that you're doing as enabling this addiction crisis.
We hear the enabling argument a lot. We enable people to be as healthy as possible with wherever they are in their addiction. We enable people to stay alive.
Now, as for the county's approach to harm reduction, Chair Jessica Vega Peterson did not outwardly reject the idea of handing out smoking supplies at county-run clinics, but merely said they need more legal analysis before doing so. We also heard from the mayor today. He says more research is needed before handing out crack pipes and tinfoil is validated as true harm reduction. Laurel.
Well, this topic has a lot of people talking, a hot topic for sure. Thank you, Blair. And tonight on The Story, we have an update on another report Blair has worked on. It surrounds a woman named Tara. You may remember her story from last year. Many of you found it uplifting, and ever since, we've been getting messages from people asking how she's doing. Blair worked with an outreach team to get Tara off the street and into housing. It's been 7 months now since she was handed a key to her own apartment. And tonight on The Story, we finally have an update.
I just don't know if I would have been able to live much longer out there. I mean, I was getting to the point where I was on my breaking point. I was really on that breaking edge, ready to just fall off of it.
We'll get a deeper look into Tara's struggles to leave her life on the street behind and the progress she's made since getting a place of her own. That's tonight at 6 o'clock on The Story, only here on KGW.
Looking forward to that. We have a tragic update this evening on a fatal crash over the weekend in Southeast Portland. Police confirming the person who was killed was just 11 years old. His name is Ryan Ambrose, and his family released this photo. Ryan was a passenger riding in a car Saturday night when authorities say an SUV T-boned their vehicle. This is where the circumstances become even more troubling. Court documents say the driver of the SUV, a Dupree Smith, was both under the influence and had been shot. In court on Monday, his defense lawyer says Smith had been injured by gunfire at a funeral, and when an ambulance didn't show up, he tried to drive himself to the hospital. Prosecutors allege Smith was driving over 80 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone and say at no point did he call or attempt to call 911 for his injuries. Smith is now charged with manslaughter, DUI, and reckless driving. The judge released him under the condition he can't drink alcohol or drive.
Now to Portland's gun violence and a pair of early morning shootings today. The first was at about 1:30 in downtown by Southwest 5th in Washington. Officers say 2 people were shot in a drive-by. Both should survive. The shooter or shooters drove off before police got there. The other incident was in Northeast Portland by Halsey and 122nd. Officers found a man there who'd been shot in the chest. He is expected to live. Police say it's unclear at this point where that shooting happened.
In Clark County, one person was injured in a 4-car crash that also involved a garbage truck. Flagging crews were setting up traffic cones for construction this morning on Northeast Patton Parkway at 94th. The garbage truck driver says one of those workers walked into the lane right in front of them. He swerved to avoid the worker, but in the process hit a car in the next lane and then careened into 2 work trucks that belonged to that crew. Again, one person was hurt, but we understand their injuries do not appear to be significant.
An update now in the case of 4 murdered University of Idaho students. The judge is giving the man accused of the killings time to review case materials. Brian Koberger filed a motion to stay proceedings in the trial, which basically means pausing everything. The judge granted him a 37-day stay to allow him and his defense team to review material from the grand jury. The judge says this motion does not affect any other aspect of the case. Koberger's trial is still set to begin in October.
We've got a bizarre crime spree in the Seattle area to tell you about, with police searching for whoever is blowing up porta potties. Now, near Redmond, police say vandals used fireworks to torch 6 porta potties at a park.
To know that somebody could be potentially blowing up something that when I'm vulnerable and in the bathroom is quite scary.
Yeah, I'll say. In Bellevue, an elementary school playground was also torched early Sunday morning. And neighbors say a week earlier, somebody leveled another porta potty down the street. Police are investigating.
Sickened and saddened. Those are the words from some residents of an RV park in Hazeldale whose rent is going up more than 50%. Joe Ranieri joins us tonight after speaking with the residents. Joe, this has to be so difficult on a lot of those residents.
Difficult and really shocking, too. Now, residents at the Lazy Mobile Home Court RV Park are looking for options right now, Laurel. One woman is fortunate enough to be able to move in with family, but not everyone is in that same boat after they found out they are going to be paying $200 more a month for their rent.
At the Lazy Z Mobile Home Court in Hazeldale, there are about 60 spots that are home to either a mobile home or an RV.
It's scary, and then the hits keep coming. And I'm just concerned because a lot of people that live here are, elderly.
But resident Karen Redmond, who's lived here for the last couple of years, is worried after receiving a letter saying her rent was going to go up more than 50%.
I thought I hit the jackpot when I first got it. Water, sewer, garbage was paid for. And then this new owner bought the park, and right away they raised our space rent 52%.
That means her rent will be going up more than $200 to about $650 a month. A huge increase for these residents who are on a fixed income and disability like Karen. A new company called Collective Communities Corporation bought the park late last year, and over the last several months have been notifying residents about the rent increase. One woman who didn't want to show her face has already been paying the higher rent.
Why are you abusing so many senior citizens? It's not just this park. There's one over on 16th, the double wide park.
Many residents have made phone calls and sent emails to the new company, but they have never heard back. A rent hike like this is completely legal in Washington state, but would now be illegal in Oregon. This past legislative session in Oregon, lawmakers passed Senate Bill 611, which caps rent increase at 10% a year. That law took effect just last week. Now, many of these residents are left trying to figure out where they go from here.
I reached out to the owner of the RV park to see what's behind the rent increase. Now, he told me late this afternoon over the phone they are very responsive to the concerns of the residents. He told me the rent increase is because of infrastructure upgrades that really need to be done on this aging property that goes back to about the late 60s to the early 70s, according to him. He also said they'll be providing resources to help renters if they want it. David and Laurel, back to you.
Yeah, it sounds like you may have gotten a conversation going there. Thank you, Joe.